we'll be looking at continuing line drawing techniques and using pens to explore the spaces around us in this session, and looking at the walls, looking at furniture, looking at sort of more fittings like the radiators or even the doors, and sort of start to look at how we might capture those, how we might represent those. Almost imagine as if we're floating above the space and looking down into it. How might you draw what that's like, what that feels, what's surrounding you? And it doesn't necessarily need to be technically accurate or measured in any way, like an architectural survey drawing. But this is more just a drawing about the space around you and how that space feels for you and other people that might use that space. So start with a piece of paper. I think your sketchbook is probably ideal for this. Something hardback, so you can actually walk around with your paper and you're not it's not sort of flopping around everywhere like this one. So something that's a bit more firm, and the idea for that is that we're going to be walking around and capturing the space as we're going through. I'm using just a fine liner pen, and what I'm going to do is actually start by just first of all observing the space around me. So I'll start with the larger elements. So there's a wall here, there's a wall behind me, we have a wall to the left of me, there's a radiator on this wall, and then we have a door frame and a door here that opens inwards, and then that carries on then to a wall here. So I have that in my mind, and I can see, and sort of you can see as well that that's surrounding me. So what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to put this on the table actually, so you can see this as I'm going along. But for you, you might want to sort of take the drawing around as you're working. But I can see that I'm sort of sat in this square-like space, and I'm going to start to draw the space. The wall next to me here, I'm just going to draw a line. Again, I'm imagining that I'm looking down onto the room that I'm in, as if I am just floating above it and seeing myself at this table from above. So there's a wall, and then the wall actually then it sort of comes down like this, and then it goes across. So this is the wall that's directly behind me, behind all of those books. And then the wall here is coming like this, sort of in front of me. So that comes up. And I'm using these sort of wobbly line techniques to keep as sort of accurate as possible. Then next we have the door, so I'm just going to leave a gap for where the door is, like this, and then the wall continues like I've just drawn. The door opens inwards, so I'm just going to draw a line here for now, just another line there to show that that door is going inwards. Next I look for other features that are quite significant in the space. So the radiator that's next to me on the left, I'm just going to draw this in, and at the moment I'm drawing it quite diagrammatically, so I'm not sort of adding many details. I'm just showing the basic shapes of how the space is composed. And then behind me, I've got these bookcases, 3 bookcases, and they actually start, they come in front of the radiator, so I'm going to just draw these along here, like this. At the moment I'm just drawing one large rectangle, but then what I can do is split it into 3, and suddenly I've got my bookcases, my shelves running along the back. I've got the wall to my right, I've got the wall to my left, and the wall that's behind me. And then if I wanted to add more detail, I could actually add the table that I'm currently sitting at, so sort of a round table Again, we're not using any rulers here. So just these wobbly line techniques will really help with that. There's a chair, there's a green chair next to the table, so I can draw that in like this. And then the chair that I'm sitting at is sort of going under the table slightly, you know. I'm sort of sat at the edge of that table, so it sort of, that's the sort of basic plan of the space that I'm surrounded by here. So this, imagine that I'm looking down into the space. I'm currently sat here, and you can start to see that forming. But then once you've done that, now this is where the sort of precision drawing really comes into its element here, is that you can start to add even more details. I've drawn this quite small, but I'd recommend going sort of as large as you possibly can with this. And the reason for that is that you'll be able to get as much detail into the drawing as possible. So for example, I might want to start drawing these items that I have on my table. I have a sheet of tracing paper, or tracing paper pad. Yeah, that could come into it. I've got some sheets of A4 white paper. That could come into it. There's a ruler or a few different rulers on the table. You can also start drawing those as well. You know, I think the most important thing is drawing what you see. So keep looking around. There's some masking tape on the table. You can start to draw those in. And then there's some other bits and pieces as well. And you can see I'm still using these wobbly line techniques. The wobbly line will just add a lot more detail. I might want to start to add things like these coffee cup stains on the surface of the table. So really, you know, I can add my sketch pad first. And then there's these sort of coffee cup stains. And just keep going and going and going. So include smaller items, smaller items, smaller items. I've got some items on the chair. There's a pencil case. Another pencil case next to it. And then a paint palette. And then I can actually look at those things and see that the pencil case actually has a zip. The paint palette has got some more circles on it for mixing. The chair actually has arms. Sort of do something like this. So I know this chair that I'm sitting in is the same. And then gradually you can see that we're building up a really nice image of what the space is like. You can add a thickness to the door. Oh, that's a bit wobbly. Can add the door handle. Okay, but you can go on and on. I can add the door frames. The door frames sort of stick out slightly. You know, don't be afraid to go over things that you've already done. To just keep adding that detail there. You can start to add the books. So again, continuing using these wobbly lines, so it gives you as much precision. I think you can almost think of these drawings like colouring book drawings in a way. So keep looking around you, so you can actually count the amount of books that you have, and you can draw those in. You can look at the different sizes. But when you're doing it, I think that you're almost drawing a drawing that you'd find in a colouring book, where everything is neatly lined. So you could send it to someone else and they'd be able to colour all of this sort of white spaces in. But the key is just to look around and to capture every single thing you see. But that's it. Thank you.